Hello everyone, my name is David Weeks and I'll be presenting to you a case study on the negotiation between former NFL star quarterback Michael Vick and the Philadelphia Eagles in the years 2009 and 2010. On May 20th, 2009, Michael Vick at the age of 29 was released from federal prison. 2 months following the date of his release, he was released from federal custody, and on July 27th, Vick was conditionally reinstated to the National Football League by Commissioner Roger Goodell. To give a bit of a background here, in August of 2007, Michael was sentenced to 23 months in federal prison and suspended indefinitely by the NFL for his conviction of conspiracy and running a dogfighting operation. Upon his release, Vick knew it was time to turn a new leaf and make the best attempt at earning the world's forgiveness for his mistakes. In a statement he made upon his reinstatement to the NFL in July 2009, Vick shared the following words: "As you can imagine, the last 2 years have given me time to reevaluate my life, mature as an individual, and fully understand the terrible mistakes I made in the past and what type of life I must lead moving forward." He also stated in his interview with CBS's 60 Minutes, "I feel tremendous hurt behind what happened. And I should have took initiative to stop it all, and I didn't, and I feel bad about that now." At the time of Vick's reinstatement to the league, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Andy Reid, had actually been thinking about Michael's return to the league. According to the Inquirer of Philadelphia, Reid had visions of the three-time pro quarterback in an Eagles uniform. These visions are what transpired the making of the negotiation when Reid made the suggestion of signing Vick. The discussion went on for around 10 days following the initial meeting between members of the Philadelphia Eagles organization, including Reid himself, Vice President of Player Personnel Howie Roseman, General Manager Tom Heckert, the team president Joe Banner, and the owner Jeffrey Lurie. The green light on signing Vick was then given, and a contract was in negotiation between the two parties, one being the Eagles, represented by Joe Banner, and the other being Michael Vick, represented by his agent Joe Siegel. Vick wouldn't have been involved in the negotiations such as this if it weren't for his ability to perform as a star quarterback, especially someone with the magnitude of legal drama he was enwrapped in. So that was definitely the main underlying interest for the Eagles, his ability to perform. According to ESPN, the team was looking to add a new dimension to their offense, and as head coach Andy Reid put it, he's a versatile quarterback. Reid also referred to Vick as an unbelievable athlete, both running the ball and throwing it. Vick's uniqueness as a quarterback was definitely his incredible speed and ability to scramble unlike any other, which would undoubtedly be manifested by the Eagles. His reinstatement to the league just so happened to be at the time when the Eagles' offense wasn't particularly performing too well, along with Eagles starting quarterback Donovan McNabb. According to an article by the New York Times, Coach Andy Reid benched McNabb briefly last season during a poor performance against the Ravens, where he chafed at the move. McNabb accordingly had never enjoyed universal fan support in Philadelphia, and if he struggled during the following season, Vick would be there to take over his position, another underlying interest of Philadelphia's. Thirdly, Coach Andy Reid felt Michael deserved another chance, just as his sons did. "I'm a believer that as long as people go through the right process, they deserve a second chance," he stated in an interview. Britt and Garrett Reid, Andy's two oldest sons, in January 2007, were arrested the same day in separate instances, and news that both sons had serious drug problems later surfaced. "I've followed Michael's situation very close with the things my boys went through. They were right around the same time," stated Reid. Vick's primary underlying interest in the negotiation was to, of course, get acclimated back into the NFL and get his feet wet again in the game of football, something he loves dearly. "I fully understand that playing in the NFL is a privilege, not a right, and I am truly thankful for the opportunity I have been given," he stated upon his reinstatement to the league. When speaking on the opportunity with the Eagles and serving as their second-string quarterback, opposed to the star role he was used to having, he replied with, "I have been away from the game for 2 years, and I've got to start somewhere. I've got to crawl before I walk. I can't imagine going out a 2-year hiatus and trying to be a starter for a football team." The main thing for him was having that opportunity, and has shown he was grateful for it. Prior to the decision of his reinstatement to the league and his release from prison, Vick had lined up a 40-hour-a-week, 10-an-hour job at one of W.M. Jordan Co.'s 40 commercial construction jobs in efforts to work his way out of bankruptcy. Settling his debts was definitely another underlying interest of Vick's, and what better way is there to do so than by doing what he knows best? One can only imagine the level of relief he encountered once the decision was made to let him back into football, and the difference in the amount of income earned from playing the sport professionally opposed to working in construction. The negotiation was definitely an easygoing process between both parties involved, without any back and forth adjustments to what was being offered from both parties. There were no bargaining done between Joe Banner and Michael's agent Joe Siegel. Both sides addressed what they would like to see happen in the arrangement, as well as what the best terms would be amongst one another for the sake of a contract, and an agreement was made. There were, however, necessities that were addressed in the negotiation on behalf of the Eagles. The position of the Philadelphia Eagles and Joe Banner in the negotiation was that Michael needs to hold up his end of the bargain in terms of changing for the better and becoming more of a model citizen on and off the field. For that reason, a part of their negotiating terms was that none of the money included in his contract would be guaranteed, according to Banner. Along with these terms, another position of Philadelphia's was that Vick would need to partake in certain contractual obligations, such as making community appearances, but that is no different from any other player contract on the Eagles. He has to do the right things in order to remain on the team. That's standard in our contracts. There is nothing above and beyond that other than what he has committed to us and what he intends to do, said Banner. According to Banner, we got such an extraordinarily positive reaction from Joel about the things Michael was looking for. It wasn't just about being a starter or making the most money. It was totally different. A list about being around other players who would apply positive peer pressure, being in a situation where he could gradually get integrated, being in an organization with a strong head coach who would be a mentor or friend, stated Banner. Those were the kind of things he wanted, and from my perspective, that was a big positive. Therefore, Vick's position in the negotiation was having the right people around him, those who would uplift him and serve as good role models and great teammates. Just as everyone in the organization wanted to see Michael turn his life around, he wanted the same for himself. When covering three concepts from the negotiation and deal-making course that played a role in this negotiation, the first I would like to discuss is creating a connection, which happens to be one of the methods used for preventing negative emotions. Throughout Michael's rehabilitation process, he established a relationship with former NFL coach Tony Dungy, who served as his mentor. Not only has Vick created a connection with Dungy, who was able to speak very fondly of his progress, which in turn benefited him in the negotiation, but Dungy also happened to be a friend of head coach Andy Reid, which is a connection in and of itself. According to Reid, he has some great people in his corner that he's proven to that he's on the right track, including the commissioner and Tony Dungy, who has spent a lot of time with Michael. Tony is a good friend of mine, and I've had a chance to visit him and talk through some things. I've also had a chance to talk to Michael a few times just to make sure I know exactly where he's at, and he's at a good place, says Reid. Another concept from the course used in the negotiation was appreciating the other negotiator. Michael was appreciative of the Eagles organization for willing to take a chance with him despite the mistakes he made. Thirdly, the method of respecting the other negotiator's status was used in the negotiation, as head coach Andy Reid still saw Vick as a talented and successful individual with a strong potential, regardless of his poor decision-making in the past. When analyzing what went well in the negotiation, it's safe to say that the owner of the Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, had some good conversation with Michael and had faith in him. He stated in an interview, "Meeting with Michael, I felt the self-hatred, I felt the remorse, I felt the plans going forward could be very, very fruitful for animal rights in America." This is big, considering it came from the owner of the team. Another positive outcome from this negotiation was that the team received Donovan McNabb's approval for signing Vick rather than having him show disagreement in the decision due to the fact that Michael could potentially take his place and replace him as starting quarterback. Instead, he gave his blessing, stating, "I'm just excited that we've given another individual an opportunity to get his life back on track." Concerning what went wrong with the negotiation, it would have to be the public backlash that was received by the Eagles organization for Vick's signing. "We've got quite a few calls from people who were upset," team president Joe Banner said. According to the New York Times, the Eagles' decision to sign Vick drew a quick response from the animal rights group PETA, who said in a statement, "What sort of message does this send to young fans who care about animals and don't want to see them be harmed?" On August 13, 2009, a deal was finally agreed on and Michael Vick was officially an Eagle. A 2-year contract was signed, the first year of the contract yielding a $1.6 million payout and an optional second year worth $5.2 million, according to ESPN's Chris Mortensen. This agreement established a very meaningful relationship for both parties because, as it is clear to see, the Eagles personnel, including coach Andy Reid, truly care about Michael, and on the other hand, Michael wanted to make the team proud of their decision. He did just that. The 2-year contract was fulfilled, with Mike finishing the second season as the team's starting quarterback and representing the Eagles at the Pro Bowl in Hawaii as the NFC's starting Pro Bowl QB. However, it didn't end just there between the two parties, as Vick and the Eagles worked out a restructured contract for him to return to the team the following season, including a $3.5 million signing bonus and a $3.5 million base salary. Vick's statement upon the signing included the following words: "I am grateful and proud to be a Philadelphia Eagle. My heart is in Philly, and this community is important to me." Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.